This is the Broodcast, Inkling-style Discord chat, last Friday of every month. To join, visit joshuadavidling.com/brood. And now, Operation Broodcast on Poets at War.
We're lying, witch and warded, yeah. Our imagination's running wild and free. In Middle Earth or Narnia, there's magic in what we believe.
Good?
More or less.
Yes.
The Lord
actually.
is good and he rules the universe.
That is objectively good.
Yep. So, yeah, you got something tonight?
I do have something tonight.
Fantastic. I have Joel and Marty and myself to read if we get, I want to try and get at least one more person, I think. I've got plenty to read, but if we have two more people reading their own stuff, I think it's worth a show. But yeah, so. Oh, man. So what's been up with you?
Who am I? What am I supposed to be doing?
Ah, the classic.
What is up with me? Boy, I got some work done on Heart of the Stars today.
Ooh, fun.
I was also doing some editing on a story that I wrote a while ago. Making it a little more interesting.
Very cool.
Yeah, I've been drawing and painting quite a bit today, so that was good.
Why did my mind do that just now?
What?
When you said I've been, my mind immediately started playing Karen Carpenter, or not Karen Carpenter, Fleetwood Mac. I've been changing, but I built my life around you. Landslide. Anyway. Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, I have heard that song. Okay.
You have. Everyone's heard Landslide. Yeah.
I've heard that song.
It's just one of those cheesy ballads from that 70s period that everybody knows it. They just don't know they know it until they hear it again.
I did. Yeah, but I have actually purposefully listened to that one. So it did not make the playlist, but
right.
I did listen to it with intent.
Yep.
Yep. You go again,
that's the most Stevie Nicks has ever sounded like Karen Carpenter or ever will sound like Karen Carpenter. So, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
You know, she was voted best drummer one year.
Yes, she was. Karen Carpenter, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it created a lot of bad blood with Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. Yeah. I was sitting here thinking to myself, yeah, because it was really her fault that she got best drummer.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Bonzo was just being a prick. I'm sorry. He was a wuss about it. He was a big baby. You know, he didn't want to admit that he lost to a girl, and instead of congratulating her, like, oh, good show.
Let me see.
I think 76, 77, something like that.
I need to find out because I have a big question here. Okay. Best drummer award. Let's see. 75. Okay, so it was 75, so you're really close. Let's just ask it on Google. Ask the question that I have. What was Rush doing, if anything, in 1975? Were they not around yet? I don't know.
Who?
Rush.
Oh, yeah, they were around.
Yeah, Fly By Night and Caress of Steel. So they had two album releases in 1975, and Karen Carpenter beat Neil Peart too. Just saying.
But I'm sure Neil Peart, I'm sure didn't make a big deal out of it.
Oh, no, he wouldn't. He doesn't care about that. I think the
No.
only award he would appreciate would probably be best lyricist. He probably didn't care about the drumming as much, you know. I always liked Neil Peart's lyrics. I never thought they were anything particularly revolutionary, but I know he really loved his own lyrics. So
Yeah.
oh boy.
I really need I really need to get into Rush's discography, because I talk about, Rush they were such a great band, and I haven't actually listened to them. I haven't listened to Rush as much as I listened to Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
And that's like, I'm sorry, that's wrong, because Rush is the better band.
They are.
Probably.
They are. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, there are some songs that are better in Black Sabbath's category than like the median Rush song, but Rush as like an album band is leagues better with three guys. Like, they're just unbelievable technicians, and they were just wonderful musicians too. I think their musicality goes overlooked. Like, obviously they're technical geniuses. Obviously everyone talks about that. But I think their actual like music writing from an emotional perspective is far better than they ever get credit for. I really like granted, I think Neil Peart's a little on the head with some of his lyrics, but I generally like A Farewell to Kings is one of my favorite albums. It's just period, like, if anything. A Farewell to Kings, I'll still turn on. It's so good. Moving Pictures is amazing.
On my list.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually abstaining from secular music for Lent. So
Gotcha.
when after Resurrection, I'm going to listen to all these albums.
Yeah, there you go.
All these albums that you've recommended, I'll listen to them.
Sweet. So, like, Ocean Avenue by Yellow Card's on that list? The album?
Not
Hey
yet.
there, Carrie.
So,
What's up, dude? Well, get it on the list. Ocean Avenue, Yellow Card. That one's fantastic. You should definitely listen to that album. We're doing Broodcast tonight. We're seeing who shows up. It's just me and Ian right now. But yeah, no, I got like 3 people I'm reading for, including myself, and then Ian has something. We're just trying to see if we can get one more person to share something of story related stuff. You can always share, you know that, you're always welcome, but your stuff is usually raccoon carcasses and such as that nature.
yeah. No, I just woke up. I took a nap. Well, I told my wife, I said, hey, can I take a quick half-hour nap?
Ooh.
She was like, all right, that's fine. Next thing I go to sleep, still light outside. You know, so we still had about an hour and a half left of light.
Yeah.
She comes in and wakes me up. And it's like dark, and I was like, uh-oh. And it was 6:15 or 8:15. I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
I went to sleep at like 6. I was like, well, frick.
Was it a rough day?
No, today was fine. I was waiting on her because she has long red curly hair, and it takes her like 2 hours to do her hair. So I'm like,
Nice.
I'll just take a quick nap while she does her hair, and well, not a quick nap.
There you go.
And I don't think probably ain't gonna sleep tonight. But good thing is, I am getting a dog this evening.
Oh, nice. What variety?
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy me a dog.
it's a Great Pyrenees, so
Ooh, very nice.
big
boy.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Also, Josh, I talked to Ian about this, and I think.
Hey there, Brendan.
I think I may want to write something soon.
Yeah, that'd be great. What you working on?
Me?
Yeah, you. Or can you not
I
say
don't
it?
know. I have no clue. I have not. I've been brainstorming ideas, but
Okay.
it's just an idea. It's not nothing on paper yet.
Okay. Well, if you want to talk about it with anybody, you're in the right place. What's going on, Brendan? How was your day?
It was a day.
Yeah.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
No, it wasn't the best of times.
It was definitely the worst of times. Okay. Got it.
It was one of
anybody wanna
those,
see,
but definitely not one of them.
Anybody want to see my progress on my fan art?
Yes. Yes, please.
All right. Can you see that?
Let me get it big on the screen for people. Yeah, looking good. I like lots of really good colors.
Thank you. I started using. I was using just paint brushes, and I dipped them in water and watercolor with that. But now I've started using these. They're they're a little tube with water in them, and they got a brush in the end, and you paint with them. And I had never used them before. I was kind of wary of them because I thought, well, it'll look crappy, but it actually does look really good. They take a lot more control.
Yeah.
Because if you squeeze a little too hard, you get too much water, and it makes a mess. But it looks really nice.
Very cool. Brendan, are you sharing tonight? Whoop. You froze for a sec. He nodded.
Absolutely.
Okay, absolutely wonderful.
I got such good reaction last time. I'm like, well, let's see if it holds up long under more scrutiny.
Sweet. So we've got Dante's here too. I didn't notice that. What's up, Dante? If you're around.
Oh, just lurking to listen.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're just listening, that's fine. Obviously chime in whenever, and if you want to share something, you can. But we definitely have a show now.
I didn't realize he was actually here.
He snuck in.
I'm stealthy like that.
Okay.
I knew he was here whenever Josh said, like, oh, yeah, it's just you and Ian. And I was like, I guess Dante's, like, doing something, so he's not really, like, there in spirit or something. I don't know.
He's just very sneaky. He is ninja. So, tonight we have myself, Joel, and Marty being read by me. And then we have Brendan and Ian, so that makes it a show for sure. And we'll see whoever jumps in following that. Do we want to start with Marty? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I can play my banjolele.
Ooh, banjolele. I'm good with that
we can
too.
start
Whatever
with
you want
Marty,
to do.
then switch to someone else. I'd like to go earlier this time, if possible.
Sure. Yeah, you can go now or second. What do you want to do?
I vote that Brendan goes now, and then I go after him.
I'm okay with that.
Brenda, are you okay with that?
I'm fine with that.
We may not have feedback for some of the other folk. That's the thing. But if we don't, then just make sure you watch afterward and give feedback. Because Joel makes sure he gives feedback whether he's here or not, which is awesome.
Yeah, Joel's really good about that. I do, however, have one question.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read the heroine's introduction, the bad guy's introduction, or the first action sequence? First action sequence.
I'm torn between the bad guy and the action. Particularly because I love your action scenes, but also I'm very partial to intimidating, which I'm guessing it is, bad guy scenes.
I'm not sure if it's intimidating, but
okay.
We'll
what
see.
do you say, Ian, or any of y'all?
Don't have an opinion. Flip a coin.
I've got a point somewhere.
Coins!
Let's just
ちょっと焦げちゃったビーバーだなトゥヒダルもってる子供たちに魚を焼くよ雪嵐の夜でも閉じれて奥さんはいるけれどこの炎は僕が守り抜くちょっと焦げちゃったビーバーだからいてつく夜を気は端が抜けに犯せる
Now sharing Brendan Sunshine.
let's just do the action sequence because that's the one I feel more positive about, which
Sounds
means I
good.
really should read the villain intro because that would cause actually it doesn't make sense unless you know.
Well, your ultimate choice.
Let's do the bad guy just because that scene it explains a lot, sort of.
Mhm.
It starts to explain a lot. It plants the seeds, which is important. Okay, so when last off, they were in an alley. There's they are in the alley. Chesh basically lore dumps David, not entirely, but Chesh is basically showing him around, and then he takes him to a party where they meet Guinevere. No, not the same Guinevere from Arthur. She's just named after Guinevere.
Okay.
She has the ability to use magic by speaking in rhyming couplets. That's
I
her
like
shtick. They suggest going and meeting Hatter, who is not mad. He's just a hatter. He does hats, he cuts hair, and everybody talks to him. So he seems to know a lot because they figure out that David is actually in Avalon and not just sleeping and what's called dream walking. So after they you know what, I'm just going to start at the end of the conversation. So starting at the scene where they meet Guinevere, this is the end of that conversation, and we're going to go straight into Hatter's shop and into the intro to the bad guy, because it's all one smooth thing, and there's no good way of doing this. Please bear with me. This might be slightly longer.
Okay.
Okay. So Guinevere, I will talk to my mother. Don't worry, David. We will get you home. David, slightly embarrassed. Thank you. Chesh, amused. Come on, red ears, let's go. Exterior Avalon Forest night. A shadowy cloud creeps along the ground. Slowly, it forms into a foot, which grows to a leg. The mist solidifies into an actual person, the Nephirim, who looks 32. We don't see his face, but the camera pulls back to reveal that he is looking at the city at the same spot where David saw it for the first time. Nephirim whispered, "You cannot hide." As the last word is said, cut to exterior Main Street night. David and Chesh are entering Hatter's shop. David looks around as if he hears the last two words, but gets pulled into the shop by Chesh. Interior Hatter's shop night. A small shop consisting of a lot of different types of hats. A large table is in the middle of the room with crates on the side. One of the crates is open and empty. Hatter, 40-something with jolly personality mixed with a bit of weirdness, stands on the far side working on a hat.
What's up, Dante?
He sees them come in. What?
Did Dante say something?
Ignore me. Sorry.
Okay, it's all good.
Hatter. Chesh, my friend, I'm glad to see you this evening. I have jasmine tea steeping in the pot. It should be done soon. Chesh. Thanks, Hatter. This is David. Hatter. Pleasure to meet you, David. Hello, sir. Chesh wanders over to the open crate and proceeds to climb in and sit inside the crate. David looks at Chesh confused. Chesh. What? Is there something in my ear? Hatter. My, you're a human as well. Are you a remnant, my good fellow? Or perhaps you are dream walking, as the Sylvan call it? David. Actually, sir... Hatter. Please, call me Hatter. None of this formal nonsense. Sorry, sir. Hatter. I'm not really sure, but I was told that apparently I'm actually here and not dreamwalking. Hatter. Well, this is splendid. You simply must have some tea and a hat then, in honor of your successful journey to Avalon. David. Actually, that's why we are here. I don't know how I got here, and I was told you might be able to help me find my way back. Hatter finishes the top hat he's been working on. He deftly twirls it and smiles. Well, let's see what I can pull out of my hat to help. He reaches into the hat up to his elbow and pulls out a bag of Earl Grey tea. Chesh. So that is how you get your tea. I've been wondering how you get earth tea all the time. Hatter. Sorry, wrong side of the hat. He tosses the tea behind him, reaches in again, and begins pulling out way more papers than should be able to. He then pulls out a white rabbit with a pocket watch draped around its neck. Hatter. No, not that, addresses the rabbit. Wait, where did I pull you from? Oh, never mind. Back you go. He puts the rabbit back in and continues to rummage. Hatter. Some people have mentioned a name to me that I can't quite recall, but since the Sylvan here don't seem to die of old age, they go on a pilgrimage at their appointed time. They need to meet someone. I can't remember... His face goes from smiling to concern, then one of horror. Suddenly he's pulled into his hat completely with a bit of a surprised shout. The hat falls onto the floor upside down. There is silence for a beat. David. Is he all right? Chesh. He's probably just playing a trick on you. Pauses for a beat. I'll go get him. Stay here. Oh, and don't touch the hat. Chesh hops off the crate and dives headfirst into the hat. Interior, Hatter's hat, night. Chesh falls into a strange space that extends out into blackness. The floor is black and white checkerboard and extends beyond where he can see in the dim light from the hole in the ceiling. Chesh looks around, slightly concerned at his surroundings. Hatter? Hatter? Hatter, you forgot to light this place again. Chesh searches until he hears sobbing, or maybe laughing, it's hard to tell. He follows the sound to find Hatter curled up on the ground. Chesh, there you are. Come on, Hatter, up you go. Hatter, quietly scared. They won't stop. Chesh, come on, buddy, let's go. Wait, what won't stop? Hatter, obviously terrified. The voices, they won't stop. Make them stop. Make them stop. Chesh suddenly begins to hear whispering as well as a deep rumbling. He turns, looks up to see something off camera. His eyes widen in an expression that could easily be read as, oh, Chesh, oh no. Camera rushes toward Chesh with an appropriate sound. Cut to... Interior, Hatter's shop, night. David is looking around the shop and reading different papers. He picks up one that reads Fawn, Zeev in big letters. Know the lighthouse keeper. There's a drawing of a lighthouse sketched. Cut to interior, David's room, day. David looks up as Allison speaks. There you are. What you working on? Allison bounces over and lean over David. Just a random sketch, nothing more. Allison, it's really cool. A lighthouse, huh? David, I had a picture in my head of it in a rocky beach. I haven't gotten to the beach part yet. Allison, well, I think it looks good. David, thanks. I think it's from when we visited. David looks off as he remembers the trip. Allison understands. He'll be back. David, bitter, for a month maybe. Allison, you know he wants to come back. David, if he wanted to come back, he would be here now. Allison, you know that he can't just leave. David, angry. Well, why not? Couldn't he find a job closer to home? Why does he have to travel all the time? Allison, you know what he does. David, I don't care if the president himself calls him. He's my dad. Images of his father flash, distorted similarly to before. Allison, I know. He will be back. Come on, let me go. Let's get you outside. I found an awesome field out by the woods. Interior, Hatter's shop, night. At this point, the bell on the door rings as the Nephirim walks in. He looks like a tall and handsome man, but all it wants to do is destroy and create hatred and wrath everywhere it goes. David, I'm sorry, sir, but Hatter isn't here right now. He will be back soon, though. Hatter, Nephirim. I've already seen the Hatter. I'm actually looking for you, David. David, for me? How do you know my name? Nephirim, you don't know me. Of course not. You've been too busy with your new friends to remember your old ones. David, I'm sorry, sir, but I don't remember ever meeting you. No, but with your new friends, you have completely forgotten about Allison, haven't you? David, suddenly defensive. I wouldn't forget about her. Nephirim, oh? And what have you been doing? Running around with that kid Chesh, eating biscuits and going to parties? You even threw off Allison to dance with another girl. Images of the crash start flashing. Very brief. David getting angry. Shut up. It wasn't like that. Nephirim with a malicious glee. Was it? You were all ready to go and show that man what he did to you. You were going to show him what it was like to lose a friend. Then you come here and you completely lose focus. Images flash more. Nephirim pauses for a beat. Allison would be disappointed with you. David, furious. Shut up! You don't know her! You don't know me! Nephirim, really? What are you going to do? Prove me wrong? You can't. You're weak and pathetic. The Nephirim's face transforms into that of the driver, 32. Nephirim, come on, show me what you would do. David, you... Nephirim, weak human, you didn't deserve her, just like you don't deserve anyone. David, liar! David leaps at the Nephirim, who shifts back into his original form and backhands David. David gets back up to keep fighting, but it is useless. Nephirim beats David easily, laughing while he does it. I was wrong. You aren't even human. You can't even protect yourself. The Nephirim goes over and picks up a candle, lighting the papers on fire, then proceeds to light the table on fire. He raises his hand and the fire rises much quicker than normal. Nephirim, now I suppose I should have some fun with your new girlfriend. Guinevere, was it? You should thank me. She was only going to slow you down and make you weaker and dependent. That isn't what Allison would have wanted now, is it? The Nephirim leaves. David struggles toward the door. No, Guinevere. David manages to get the strength for him to stumble out of the door just as the shop goes up in flames. Exterior, main street, night. He turns to look back at the fire in horror, then turns to look back at the mansion as the Nephirim's last words really sink in. David, Guinevere! He starts weakly running toward the mansion. And that is the intro.
Gotcha. I followed that all pretty well. I like the general feel of the bad guy. It kind of reminds me of the what did they call him? The Other Man. It wasn't The Other Man. It was something like that in That Hideous Strength. Paralandra more so. But it reminded me of him a little bit. Very weird, not human vibes. I like that. Obviously, being in such a wacky, random world is a little bit less off-putting than it could be, but I like what you have there. I like that he knows his name. How far is this from the last place that we read?
There's like 2 scenes.
Okay.
No, not even. There's the continuation of the ending of that scene where we cut off, right? That is Chesh basically lore dumping Avalon, kind of. It's not a huge lore dump, but it's basically, let's get you enough groundwork to see. I tried to have it, there was a lot of telling involved because Chesh is talkative.
Yes.
But I tried to show as much as possible. It's sort of like meant to be stumbling into Narnia.
Yes.
Where you're looking around, you're literally walking through Aslan's camp and you're looking at all the different creatures that are there.
Yeah.
If that was the first thing you saw, not the snow and tumnus and all that.
Right.
So that was one scene. And then the next scene, there is a party where David dances with Guinevere and then they have a chat with Guinevere. And it's the end of that chat. That's where we started. Right.
Yeah,
so it's only really like a scene and a half that we missed. You're not supposed, I say you're not supposed to, no, I need to refrain from defending the script right now. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
I know what the bad guy is.
Yes.
Not just as like what he's called or what species he is. I know what he is and what he does.
Yes.
And I know what he will do.
Yes.
And I think that the idea is good. I just think that, I mean, obviously the dialogue needs work. The characterization will need work, but the thing is that as this is the first thing you see of him,
right,
and as you go, he basically does things to either, like, the fact he transforms his face.
Mm-hmm.
At another point, he transforms into Morgan Le Fay,
Mm-hmm.
and his goal is to make people mad, which sounds funky, but when people get mad near him, he also intensifies that and causes them to take action they normally wouldn't.
Right. Makes sense.
And from doing that,
Release your inhibitions.
kind of, yeah. And because he does that, the damage he does isn't directly from him, it's from other people doing stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Obviously I would have known more based on the Guinevere thing. It was kind of interesting what he was throwing at him being like your new girlfriend. That's completely unfounded just to make him angry then, yeah? Calling her that?
Well, I mean, it's mostly unfounded.
At this point in the story, it's unfounded.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they dance together and then Chesh sneaks David into her room and they talk and she heals him and is kind to him and, you know.
So he's playing with the fact that he liked her a little bit and potentially that she liked him. Yeah. I got you. But it's not like they have any kind of real actual rapport and are an item at this point. Right. Okay.
No, they're not. They aren't an item by any stretch of the imagination. David liked Allison. Like, David and Allison were unofficially like in a relationship in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if Allison had lived and if David had not gone to Avalon, when they graduated high school, she would have walked up to him, slapped him, and said, "Ask me out already."
Well, his grief over her death is part of what brought him here. I'm 100% there as far as all that goes. The calling that into question threw me because I was sitting here going, wait, hold on, how much time have we missed? And now it makes more sense that he's just playing with David's emotions in this moment.
Yes.
Not with like actually lobbing something at him about being immoral, like in any kind of real way.
No. No. He's lying.
Yeah.
The Nephirim lies. Like, that's his primary modus. His thing is he makes people mad and he lies to do it.
Yes.
If he has to.
That was the only thing that didn't make sense to me at first, but I picked it up as we went along. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying he's an internet troll?
I mean, sure. Why not?
Listen, I've run into these people, and that's exactly what they do. They want to make you mad, and they will lie to do it.
Well, but here's the thing. He is literally, without spoiling, even though I'm going to have to spoil because there's no way around it, he is literally David's wrath made incarnate.
Right.
David's wrath physically left him and became made manifest into this thing.
Yep.
And so its power is to make people wrathful.
Mm-hmm.
And it does that both just by being near them magically and by speaking and transforming its body and by other things. And he just causes damage after damage after damage by doing this. He also can control to a certain degree. He also has like some magical control. I don't explain the magic because the magic system is just, it does what I need it to do and I don't push it too hard. So he takes, like, there are golems that are made by an architect that help around the city. They're basically just giant robots, giant magic robots. He can...
My favorite kind.
He can take over them and cause them to go feral, basically, and attack. And part of this is because David sees them and he kind of thinks, oh, wow, those could be really dangerous. Those look strong. Those look like they could do some damage. Yep. And so the Nephirim, who is part of David because he is David's wrath and has a connection to David, picks up on that and goes, oh, okay, and makes it happen.
Right.
And that's what the action scene would have been if we had read it. But the action sequence is like, there's a couple scenes later, and you meet back up with Chesh. There's Guinevere, and then there's David. So you got the trio, and so there's all kinds of fun Harry, Ron, and Hermione banter going on there. Although it's not really Harry, Ron, and Hermione, because no. Anything else I can help you with? So yeah,
hey, what's up, Daniel?
That's the intro. Yeah, so I don't want to get into the whole. I say I don't want to get into the whole thing after I just explain this whole thing, but it's like it's
I'm seeing the big picture
because I'm sharing this. I don't want you guys to just say, "Oh, good job." It's like I want you to like react truly, right? But it's hard for me because like I feel like you need to know the whole context of the story in order to like
right. It
judge
is a very it's more interdependent than some of the other stuff that you've written. I think that I just need to see it as it unfolds. I may not have a lot at this point, but I do like the pocket dimension sort of thing in the hat that's going on, even if it's not a pocket dimension. You get what I'm saying. I like the how kind the Hatter is, the general banter of the whole thing. I think that talking with your inner anger sort of thing, there were things that I picked up on that when you that I got initially and was like, oh, what's that? And then you kind of went and explained a few things. I'm like, oh, okay, that's going to be in the future. Yeah, I see how this is foreshadowing. This is setting up. It's all good bones. It's not a scene that I would like go back to and rewatch. But it might not have to be either, right? This is a supporting scene. And I think it's doing a decent job at supporting. Like you pointed out, some of the dialogue could be sharpened, but I think that's probably all it needs, to be honest with you, because you're not dealing with description so much in a script visually, right? You're not setting the scene like you would in a novel. That's something you're going to do in other places. I think as a script... The only thing that really needs punching up is the dialogue, and that's not much. Like, it does the job perfectly right now. Everything else is seasoning.
I think all of the correct beats are in. They just, it's kind of it. I don't want to say it feels shoehorned, but they're blocks. They're not actual like. It's right. There's no wave. It's just. He has to get him to do this. So he says this. This is based because of this emotion. Block, 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 block.
Right. Right. And you're setting up for the big scenes, and then you got to go back and punch up those block scenes as you were called them. But like I said, that one is such just structurally within everything that you've talked about. It is so much structure that as long as it's well seasoned, it should do its job. You know what I'm saying? This is the mashed potatoes, not the steak, right?
Yeah.
So make some good mashed potatoes. Do it? Yeah.
Let's get some garlic added to these mashed potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is the kind of conversation. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, now I can.
Sick. I'm learning things about these hearing aids. That's cool. This is the kind of conversation I missed out on today. Anytime I open my mouth about something nerdy, I get strange looks.
Oh boy.
You'd be mixed.
Oh man. So Ian, did you have thoughts on the scene?
Thoughts on the scene? Trying to come up with something coherent that isn't like, oh, you did a good job.
No, I mean, if it's good. What I meant is don't just praise me to pad my ego.
Okay, I'm not praising you to pad your ego. I really like the Hatter, and I really like the ghost anger thing. What did you call it?
Nephirim.
Yeah, the Nephirim. I like that a lot.
Yeah, baby girl.
Not Nephilim?
Not
No.
Nephilim. Nephirim. Different. Play on the word, yes. No, not
Yeah.
actually.
But it is if you're Japanese.
Oh, goodness.
My apologies to the country of Japan.
Fool of a
You don't apologize. It's funnier if you don't.
Oh boy.
Anyway,
Sorry,
what the hell was that?
my window wipers.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say what was in that burrito, dude? I'm full of it
Once
tonight.
again,
So-
I say.
fool of a toque.
Anyway.
Sorry.
So I really like the idea of him arguing with his wrath over what he's going to do next and lying to him about the girl that he's interested in. By that point, I was pretty invested in the story, even though I didn't really understand what was going on.
Because you
Is this
didn't hear
a
the other one.
combination of?
I don't think Ian heard
No.
the other one.
Is this a combination of Alice in Wonderland and King Arthur?
Okay, so now I have to explain the scene that you all missed. Yes. 1, 2, no. Okay, so in this world, it's called Avalon. It is the Avalon of King Arthur. You meet Vivian. She is Vivian, the Vivian.
Okay.
He was in the Morgan Le Fay's tomb. All of that is a thing. Guh. Avalon is I kind of wanted it to be like what would happen if Eden hadn't fallen. If that sort of scenario. It's safe. It's an area that was confined, right? But it's only in concept. It's not in actual theology or anything like that. Okay, boom. Basically, this is a good place. Avalon has a couple of rules. First of all, people can come, but they have to be an extremely rare instance. Arthur came to Avalon to heal after his battle with Mordred, I think, or something. One of those. Arthur goes to Avalon to heal. That was one instance. That's like one of the only instances. Most people can come here by dream walking. What dream walking means is you fall asleep at night, you show up in Avalon, and you resolve whatever problem you are solving in that particular instance, right? People come to Avalon to get help. And then they wake up at night and at the end of the night, and they don't necessarily remember Avalon fully, but something usually comes from that. Avalon also has things called remnants. Remnants are things that are echoes of important things in our world. The cathedral is a remnant because Christianity is extremely important in our world. Lancelot is a remnant because King Arthur's story was very important and impacted our world. Aslan showed up in Avalon for a while because he was important in our world, etc., etc., etc. Important isn't necessarily meaning moral. It just means has a large impact. That's all. Okay? So this is for Joshua. No, I'm not saying that Lancelot's story is moral. I'm not saying that Alice in Wonderland is moral. It is important, though, because the Alice in Wonderland is heavily referenced. King Arthur's heavily referenced. Christianity is heavily, like, anything that has a heavy impact gets put in Avalon as a remnant. So that is a thing. The Sylvan don't die. They're basically elves. When it is their time, and they know it is their time, they have to go on a pilgrimage to the lighthouse to move on to basically go to heaven. Basically sail into the west, but not. So that's the whole rules. So this world does have King Arthur. It also has Hatter. I reference Narnia. I reference The Lord of the Rings. It's my excuse to throw as many references as possible into a story and have it be as fast and subtle as possible to, if you get it, you do the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. So it's not meant to be Alice in Wonderland. However, at the beginning, I started this entire reading just after Guinevere mentions Hatter, and David goes like, hold on, where is it? I fell down a ditch, blah, blah, blah. I will ask my mother. She knows a lot of these things. In the meantime, why don't you visit Hatter? David, the Hatter? Chesh. Ah, of course. Why didn't I think of him? David, incredulously. Some hat maker is going to help me? Guinevere, everyone talks to him. He doesn't just make hats. He cuts people's hair and makes excellent tea. Sylvan tell him everything, so there's possible he knows something. Chesh, he's strong for a remnant. He can also do fancy magic tricks with his hat. You'll enjoy meeting him. Chesh. David, Chesh, didn't you say remnants were things that were important in our world? Chesh, I did. David, Chesh. David, are you a remnant then? Chesh, oh no, I think I know where you're thinking. Guinevere, a writer, I think his name was Charles, dreamwalked here once. My mother and Chesh were the ones who helped him that day. David, and Hatter is a remnant of one of his stories, I take it? Chesh, indeed, though I think you don't need to know which story to talk with them. Come on. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, elbow, elbow.
Right. Yep.
You know, so it's like, is it Alice in Wonderland? Is it Wonderland? No. But I'm definitely going, hey, bonk, bonk, bonk.
Right. Yep. Yep.
Because the Cheshire Cat is my favorite character.
You're doing the Spirit Halloween thing where you're going as Red Plumber with mustache.
Definitely. Yes. I should find a way of fitting a red plumber in here.
You absolutely should.
Okay. I will only be sold if John Carter of Mars is in Avalon.
I can see it.
John Carter of Mars can be in Avalon, but as of now, he is not.
Not yet.
Right at this exact moment.
Lancelot better be blonde with a glowing blue sword.
I will make sure to put a note in that. Right now, I actually have a note that Lancelot needs to come back because he shows up once in the beginning and then never actually does anything. I think in the final battle he has to show up and help fight Mordred. I think that just has to happen.
That could be fun. Yeah. Sweet. All right. Should we do one of mine that I have to do, or do we want to do Like
I
Joel,
really
maybe?
need to go.
Or do we want to do Ian?
Let Ian. Ian really
Okay,
wanted to
Ian
go
can
because
go.
he has to
Yeah.
go to bed.
Yeah, go ahead.
Raise a sword right through the cosmos. Name the star where no sane man walked before. Oh, the ink is still on fire. It will burn forevermore.
Now sharing Ian Wilson.
If I'm like the only person in this group who gets up at the butt crack of dawn, but
Not the only one.
How about that? I kind of wake up early.
Some of us do too. We just have poor choices when it comes to sleeping.
Same. Yeah.
so I'm gonna continue with my rewrite of Heart of the Stars. I think this is the final version. This is the final version of the first draft, so there's going to be some more rewrites after this. But anyway, Chapter 1, Dark Matters. As you might have guessed by now, the Smalls were not a normal family. Eddie's father, Dr. Andrew Small, was a professor of astronomy at the university, noted for his discovery of several exoplanets, one of which he named after his wife, Edith. He was known by his students for his exciting lectures on stars, planets, and their movements, and for his elaborate games of Dungeons and Dragons, which they would play in the parlor of the Smalls' home. Andrew had inherited a large house in Vermont from his great-uncle Eustace, noted anthropologist who died at the age of 102 of a heart attack at a Black Sabbath concert. Eustace lived life to the full. His motorcycle was still parked in the garage. This evening found Andrew Small sitting at the gaming table, stroking his thick red whiskers, pondering the next D&D game. When work got to be too much, Andrew would distract himself by planning the next game. The boys came thudding down the stairs and into the parlor, Fred leading the way. "What you up to, Dad?" asked Eddie. "The next game," Andrew replied. "Should I have the party fight the Cyclops of Xandar, or Kemujang the Necromancer and his army of the dead?" There should be a question mark there. "Kemujang," said Eddie and Bucky enthusiastically. "Kemujang it is," said Andrew, scribbling some notes in his book. "Supper's ready, boys," said Edith from the kitchen. Fred was a blur of orange fur racing to the dining area, where his food bowl lay, filled and ready for him to stuff his face. Eddie and Bucky came shortly behind. Fred had appeared on the Smalls' doorstep shortly after they moved into the house a few months earlier. Sorry, I lost my place. According to the neighbors, he once belonged to Eustace Small, and answered to Fat Cat, "You idiot," King Charles the Fat, his fatness, the Duke of Orange, Fred, Freddy Boy, and most enigmatically, the old captain. The Smalls called him Fred. The cat referred to himself as Zeus, Lord of Thunder, but Fred would do. From minute one, he had proven to be a particularly peculiar cat. "What have you boys been up to?" asked Edith, as the boys sat down to eat. "Exploring the attic," Eddie replied. "There's all sorts of cool stuff up there." "Yeah, we even found his old field notebook," added Bucky. "That should prove to be some exciting reading," said Andrew Small as he took his place at the table. "Uncle Eustace was all over the world back in the day, you know." "Yeah, we found all his old stuff," said Eddie. "Well, let's say grace so you can tell us all about it," said Edith. After blessing the meal, the boys elaborated on all the wondrous things they found in the attic above. He left out the stone, however. He simply didn't think it significant enough to mention. Dr. Small shared a few stories about great Uncle Eustace. The time he outsmarted a crew of pirates. The time he stayed off with a gorilla. The time he arm wrestled the Crown Prince of Spain and won. There were 100 stories about great Uncle Eustace Small. It would have taken all night to tell them all. Conversation moved on to current happenings at the university and Andrew Small's research. "I don't understand it," he remarked. "They're there, and then they're gone. There doesn't seem to be any accounting for it." Could it be black holes? Offered Bucky. I would have seen the gravity signature, replied Dr. Small. No, this is something else entirely, something we don't understand. I didn't specify that these were stars disappearing. I'll fix that later. Maybe Dr. Stevenson's experiments could turn something up, suggested Edith. Probably not, said Andrew sadly. I doubt they have much to do with each other. Plus, he's gone completely around the bend. He's obsessed. Obsessed? Asked Eddie. With dark matter, said Andrew. He's forgotten about almost everything except dark matter. I think he's been sleeping in the lab. He can't talk about anything else. This came as no surprise to Eddie. They'd had Dr. Stevenson over a few weeks prior for one of their game nights, and the man couldn't talk about anything but dark matter. Any moment they weren't playing, he was talking about dark matter. Dark matter this, dark matter that. Everything dark matter. Eddie could have sworn that the lights dimmed when he entered the room. And he doesn't even know what dark matter is. He thinks he's on the verge of a breakthrough, said Andrew. Any day now. He wants his name to go down in history. What do you want to be remembered for, Dad? Asked Eddie. Andrew paused. I don't really care if anyone remembers me, he said at last. I've discovered a few stars and exoplanets. One I named after your mother. Andrew looked lovingly at his wife. I'm not the type of person they remember in history books. I'll be happy if you remember me when I'm gone. I will, Dad, said Eddie with a smile. The family spent the remainder of the evening playing board games until it was time for Bucky to go to bed. Dr. Small and Edith escorted him... oh, wait. Did that wrong. Dr. Small and Eddie escorted him home through the rain and sleet. He only lived a few houses away, after all. Not far to walk. Again tomorrow? Asked Bucky from his front stoop. God willing and the creek don't rise, replied Eddie. Bucky smiled and went into his house. It was a sad sort of smile, however. Bucky's life was not a happy one. Eddie was virtually the only really good thing he had going for him at this point. At this point in his 11-year-old existence, as you shall soon see. The smell of cigarette smoke stung Eddie's nostrils. Though he was around it nearly continuously. Did I say Eddie's nostrils? Bucky's nostrils. He was around it continuously. Bucky disliked cigarette smoke. His Aunt Harriet sat on the couch watching some movie or other, a lit cigarette dangling from her fingers. Harriet was not a pleasant woman to be around if one happened to be on her bad side. Indeed, some might have called her a battle axe. Due to an unfortunate turn of events, she was Bucky's guardian. Bucky didn't understand how his father could have been so kind and gentle, while his aunt was such a wicked witch. They were siblings, after all, but I suppose that is an unsolvable mystery. Every time he read a fairy tale, which was often, that happened to contain a witch, Bucky, in the privacy of his own thoughts, would imagine his Aunt Harriet in the role of the witch. He imagined himself as the hero vanquishing his wicked aunt. Harriet took a drag on her cigarette and dropped the ashes in a tray. The small dog, constantly by Harriet's side, yapped angrily at the boy as he entered. Arnold, shut up, barked Harriet. Where have you been? She asked Bucky. I was at the Smalls, Bucky replied sullenly. Aunt Harriet sighed and took a puff on her cigarette. Did you do your homework? Not yet, replied Bucky. Then get to it, she barked, before I lay into your backside. The boy ran upstairs quickly and cloistered himself in his room, one of the few places he had left that was his own, and yet not his own. Harriet had thrown away or sold off many of his possessions after he moved in, much to the boy's dismay. What remained were a few toys, mostly fantasy and science fiction characters, his books, which were of a similar nature, and a few other knickknacks and trinkets. Bucky shared a wall with his cousin Anna, who was at this time playing her music a bit too loudly for the boy to concentrate on his studies. With an exasperated sigh, Bucky stomped over to Anna's door and pounded on it. Anna was Harriet's little angel. She could do no wrong. She got whatever she wanted, and Bucky got whatever was left. Anything she had a newer, more expensive version. Bucky greatly resented her, but he understood to the level he could. She was Harriet's only child. He was a guest. Anna opened the door, an irritated expression on her face. She was nearly 17, with perfect blonde hair cut into a perfect bob haircut, and perfect blue eyes, and a perfect face. "What do you want?" she asked. "Could you turn your music down?" Buck asked Bucky as politely as he could manage. "I'm trying to study." Anna clicked the down arrow on the remote control for her speakers and placed it back in the pocket of her sweatpants. "Anything else?" she asked. "No," replied Bucky. The boy slumped back to his room and wept. Despite what Bucky may have thought about his cousin, she wasn't an unfeeling monster. Most people aren't, really. There are a few. I'm sure you've met a monster or two yourself. Most people are just trying to fill a need that they don't know that they have. Anna could hear the faint sounds of Bucky's weeping, and indeed, she felt terribly for him. Orphaned at such a young age, disliked by his own family. But she didn't have a single clue what to do for him, so she played along with her mother, pretending to be cold and indifferent to the boy's suffering, simply to stay on Harriet's good side. It was selfish, but she didn't know what else to do. She switched off her stereo speakers and put on her headphones so she didn't have and went back to painting her nails. Meanwhile, Bucky, having poured out his sorrows, dried his eyes, switched on his desk lamp, and began his homework. It was late, but Harriet didn't care when he went to bed, so long as he got good grades. Once the majority of his work was done, Bucky fell into bed without changing his clothes and went immediately to sleep.
I really like that you're setting up what the sci-fi and fantasy means to him early on.
Yeah, it's a really good character. Just kind of, you get the sense of wonder that this kid has, even just from the get-go, from those little details.
The Harry Potter parallels are there for good and ill. Good because you're doing a lot of references to things in that nature and it fits. Ill because
I didn't even know.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know next to nothing about Harry Potter, so I don't know what you speak of.
Yeah, I was going to ask if
the
the
orphaning
room was under the squares.
The orphaning and living in a situation with family that hates you for no real reason.
Oh. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. You know that about Harry Potter. I know you do.
I will say, I just thought it was... Sorry.
Okay,
you cut out, Ian. You're not... I can't hear you at the moment.
Twinkle, twinkle, little
there we go.
star.
There you are. Go ahead.
Okay. So, as I said, I know next to nothing about Harry Potter. I only found out recently that he was an orphan. So,
okay, fair enough.
This was all like this was all like just from watching Disney movies and stuff.
Yeah, totally.
There's a lot of orphans in popular.
Oh, for sure.
Media.
And that's one of the reasons that definitely works. The ant, I know you've got lots going into the ant as far as the way that works. That's one of the things that is going to be a make or break later on. Is she's obviously not the villain, but there needs to also be a comeuppance for her in some regard, or else it just feels cruel.
Oh yeah, she's gonna get her comeuppance.
Okay. Gotcha.
She is actually based on several real people that I have met.
Yes, I know that. I know that about her. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
No redemption for her?
What's that?
No redemption for her?
No.
No. Okay.
Other people.
as you were describing the ant, I just thought it was amusing. He imagined his aunt as Wicked Witch of all the stories he was reading was something I very often did. I had, I did the same thing. So that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't get a redemption arc. Other characters do. The bully gets a redemption arc, but I can't give everybody a redemption arc because not everybody gets a redemption arc.
Right.
If everyone did, it wouldn't mean anything.
Well,
Yeah.
And
especially
also, the catharsis. There's
Go ahead.
nothing so unsatisfying as a poorly done redemption arc for a character everyone hates.
Yes.
Yeah, I am setting it up. You are supposed to hate this character.
Yes.
This is the character that you hate. You will hate this character.
And I wanted to
will
make sure of that
you hate this character.
intentionality, because a lot of people will make you hate a character and then they have no comeuppance too, and that's equally unsatisfying in my book.
Yeah. Yeah, that's bad.
Does she have any like redeemable qualities? Like anything good about her that allows you to just kind of mourn, like, she could have been good, but she didn't. Like she felt.
We kind of already have characters like that though in his book. I don't think that's her. I think she's she's a Dursley straight up, which is Harry Potter.
The best. What I'm getting is that the best thing she ever did was give birth to her daughter.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, she's a decent.
Why did that come up in my mind? Sorry, I just got a flashback to Talladega Nights, where Will Ferrell at the dinner table is yelling at his father-in-law, going, "The only thing you ever did was make a hot daughter." He was like a war veteran.
Oh, no.
It's so funny. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, pretty. She's a decent parent to Anna, and she does care about whether Bucky gets good grades, but that's literally it.
Mm-hmm.
So she takes care of him, but not very well, and she just kind of chain smokes and pretends to be a good person for her girlfriends, and that's about it.
Once again, Fred steals the show. Your narration about Fred is just so funny.
There's a reason that people love adding so much character to cats.
For sure.
I'm not even a cat person. He just kind of walked into a scene that I was writing, and I said, "Oh, okay, there's a cat now."
Yeah. Is anyone here familiar with Princess Donut?
No.
Princess what?
Donut.
Donut? No.
Okay. All right. It's a relatively popular book series that recently rose to fame. One of the prominent characters is a cat named Princess Donut.
Okay.
Nice.
It's not connected with the warrior cat thing.
No, not at all. It's a literary RPG.
Okay.
So, any other thoughts from people on the chapter? I think my favorite part was the fact that you're setting up what the sci-fi means to him. The sci-fi and fantasy means to him. I think that is something that was lacking, that I didn't even notice was lacking in your previous drafts, and I'm happy to see it being referenced. So.
Yeah, no. I just want to say this was probably the most effective introduction for me to this world so far. Yeah, like that's honestly, I don't have much to say. It's probably the most effective introduction I've heard into that world so far.
Am I understanding that the way you're writing it is as if like someone is telling a story?
Yes.
Yeah. I prefer the I am. So you'll notice that I take some literary cues from C.S. Lewis in this one, and I'm also sort of imitating the conversational style of Dean Koontz, who I believe is probably the greatest thriller writer alive.
You also
Oh,
have
yes,
Lemony
it is.
Snicket vibes, but that's not something you're doing on purpose, if I remember
It's not
correctly.
something I'm doing on purpose. No, I've never read Lemony Snicket. I've never read Lemony Snicket, and I've never read J.K. Rowling. Yet somehow I'm channeling these people, and I wish I could stop.
A series of unfortunate events is one of the saddest, most hilarious stories I've ever encountered.
Yes, and while he's not doing the sad
is-
part necessarily, he definitely has the snarky side of Lemony Snicket in his writing, and I like that about it.
You know what? Like, I'm used to not being the guy out of the loop, but yes, I see that. We grew up reading Lemony Snicket, and like that was a staple of my childhood. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, this is like the opposite of that. This is like
Yeah.
the series of fortunate events.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, no, but I definitely see the traces and the hues that have kind of crept in from there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Once again, I don't know how that happened.
Yep.
Wait, is this the flies a bus into outer space and meets aliens?
Yeah,
Yeah. Same thing.
Okay,
Same
it's
book.
this is the one.
Zol. What? Shoot. What's that movie?
I don't know.
That
Zathura?
Zathura. Thank you. Yes, that's the one.
the brothers and the. Yeah. Wow. Okay, I'm understanding the references tonight. Awesome.
Very nice, Ian. Are you heading out after this one?
Yeah, I'm done. I gotta go.
All right, man. Well, we love you, and have a good one.
Thank you
talk
very
to you
much.
soon.
Long and prosper.
So, Daniel, I never got to ask, were you planning on sharing tonight or no?
Well, I unfortunately can't really, as I am driving.
Okay, got it.
But I did want to give a brief update. Aaron and I have been able to work on the Maiden's Child a little bit. We have expanded the opening, added a bit more foreshadowing. We had taking some. We worked together. It's expanded quite a bit. So the next time, I will be able to share quite a bit more.
Yeah. Cool. Sounds good.
Looking forward to it.
As am I. You guys can also share, in between Broodcasts in the Brood and on Random Poets at War episodes if you feel up to it. Just let me know.
Yeah, it's just been a struggle. Aaron and I's work schedules have been rather busy.
Right. Okay, so that leaves me, Marty, and Joel, which are all being read by me. I will post Joel's in the chat when his goes up to read. Which do we want to do first? Thoughts? Anybody?
Maybe knock Marty's out first, and then move on to Joel, and then you.
Sounds good to me. I did not specifically pick a section to read from Marty's, but I think I'm just going to start at the beginning. This is once again, for those who haven't heard, it's a fictional sort of Mark Twain-ish story during the mostly during the Reconstruction period of the Civil War, but it does have some stuff that takes place during the Civil War. And so I'm just gonna read like I do for him. And yeah, let me see. I think, yeah, the prologue's short enough. I'm gonna start there. I read the dark heavy section kind of toward the end of the first act of the novel last time, and it got pretty good reviews. So now we're just going to go back and start reading through it, I think. That seems the best way to do it.
There's an empty chair and a gray coat waiting. I said to place, but I eat alone.
Now sharing, Martin Francom.
So we got prologue, introduction. Virgil Kane is my name, and I was born and raised right here in the bosom of the South. The year is 1890 now, A good quarter century since that infernal war and northern aggression ripped apart my state, my whole darn country, and destroyed more good lives than I can count. I reckon it's high time I unspooled my yarn for y'all, laid it out straight as this old heart can recollect it. It's my life story and how it got woven into God's grand tapestry, whether I wanted it that way or not. So gather round and listen close to a tale that shook me to my core and twisted my path like a lightning-struck oak. Got a bit of highfalutin and a heap of homespun, just like this Tennessee dirt where my roots run deeper than a well. Folks always said I could spin a yarn so vivid it'd shame a rainbow. My mama swore that I got a gift from Aunt Frances, bless her soul. Woman could make a trip to the outhouse sound like Odysseus sailing home to Ithaca. So settle in, friend. Let me walk you through the years, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly, all painted up with the colors of memory, wrapped around a storyteller's heart. Back in the early 1860s, our little patch of Tennessee was flourishing in its own modest way. Weren't one of them grand plantations with white columns reaching toward heaven, or acres bought by other folks sweat and sorrow. No, sir. Ours was a humble spread, built on our own calluses and the backs of kinfolk working the land till it yielded. Fields rolled out like a patchwork quilt, stitched with corn, cotton, tobacco, and enough tomatoes to make even a preacher blush. Spring would come waltzing in with honeysuckle perfume thick as molasses. Summer hit hard as a blacksmith's hammer, but even then there was a raw beauty to it, something fierce and stubborn, just like the folks who called it home. The farmhouse was plain as a plow horse, whitewash peeling here and there, porch sagging just a mite on the south corner, but it was the perfect spot for sweet tea and Pa's fiddle playing while the crickets joined in chorus. Pa, Otis Kane, was a man of many words. His hands told his story better than his mouth ever could. Wasn't a man of many words. His hands told his story better than his mouth ever could. Rough and gnarled as old oak roots, but gentle when they touched Ma's cheek or tousled Samuel's hair. His eyes, though, they were something special. Deep, clear blue like the sky after a good rain, holding a lifetime of grit and love and hard-won wisdom. Ma, Sarah Harris, before she hitched herself to Pa, was Savannah born and bred, magnolia sweet with a temper like a summer storm when riled. Her laugh was warming as fresh biscuits pulled from the oven. Her fried chicken still talked about in 3 counties, and her love was the rock foundation we all clung to. Small woman, gentle as a hummingbird most times, with a smile that could chase the blues away faster than you could say Jack Robinson. Then there was my little brother Samuel, my shadow, my partner in every kind of mischief. Couldn't separate us with a crowbar and a team of oxen. Dream of that boy, head always full of stories, heart overflowing with hope and goodness. Pure soul right down to his toes. Looked up to me like I hung the moon, which made what happened later cut all the deeper. And me, Virgil, the eldest, expected to inherit Pa's fields and Pa's calluses someday. He had his sweat of the brow nature bred into me, but carried a sliver of Ma's wanderlust too. A hankering for something beyond them fence posts, though I couldn't rightly name what. Come winter, and I would pack up and ride the train down to Savannah so she could visit her sister Frances. For me, it meant 3 or 4 months of schooling under Aunt Frances's sharp eye. Woman who could outsmart a fox in a hen house and knew more Southern literature than most preachers knew Scripture. I grumbled plenty about them lessons, but truth is, I loved it. That slow Savannah drawl got under my skin like a sweet song. Them books opened doors I never knew existed. Showed me worlds beyond tobacco fields and Sunday sermons. Life was simple then. but good in the way simple things are. We worked till our backs ached, laughed till our sides split, and loved each other harder than any storm could shake. But even then, something was brewing on the horizon. Something big and ugly. War. You could hear it coming in the rumble of the trains that passed the edge of our land, in the heated arguments at church socials, in the way men's voices dropped low when they gathered at the general store, like the ground itself was holding its breath, waiting for the storm to break loose and reshape everything we knew. That's the story I aim to tell. The one about a boy who rode away chasing glory and come limping home a man, scarred and half broke, only to find that grace was waiting on the other side of hell. About loss and finding about the long road home, and about discovering that sometimes the promised land ain't where you thought it'd be. So pull up a chair, coffee's hot, night's gentle, and I reckon I've got a lifetime of living to pour it out before the moon climbs too high in that Tennessee sky. And there you are. That was the prologue.
Wow. He makes really effective use of some of those expressions. Kind of, wow.
It's very Mark Twain-y. He's a big Mark Twain person, and that's kind of what he's channeling there. Yeah.
I love the style, especially with the accent you gave it.
Yeah.
There's only one critique, and it's the fact that you use the makes X thing blush twice.
Yes, he does.
Oh, okay. I caught the one time you used it with the tomatoes.
Yeah.
Makes it enough tomatoes to make a pastor blush, and enough vivid description to make a rainbow blush, or something like that.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that even Twain repeated sometimes, and it's a criticism of him too. It's a style thing that I'm not personally super fond of either. But the other thing was, when in development with this, he and I. He did an earlier version, an earlier draft of this that wasn't as good, and this is the later draft that I'm working on. It's much, much, much better. The voice, he wanted this accent, and I kind of told him that's actually, and I'll do it, but it's historically inaccurate and geographically inaccurate, because Tennessee would be more in this category. It had more of a hard R and that sort of a thing. But he really wanted that drawl, and that actually fleshed the story a little further, and he made his mother from Savannah. So Virgil speaks in that sort of a thing you would just hear in the long draws, the Savannah drawl. But his brother Samuel's up here, and he talks harder with the hard R's. And so that actually shaped the way I do the voices and stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Yeah, not the hard R.
Anyway, any further thoughts on that before we move on to the next one, which I'm guessing Joel would probably be next? But I'm happy to hear anything more, or if anyone wants to share anything else, of course, I'm open.
It's a lot. It's probably just the style. It seems to rely really heavy on that kind of fluffy, this is like this analogous type of language.
Yes. And that's a style thing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it's definitely working a lot more than it used to. He kind of was there were times he was doing it's really a turn of phrase kind of thing. It's turn of phrase metaphor. Like he would use a turn of phrase metaphor literally at the end of every paragraph, if not more than that. And that has changed and gotten a lot better. He's making use of it in a better way while still being, for today's audience, quantitatively very high within the text.
Yeah. It's easy enough to follow. So it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If anything, it's a little slow, which is fine. You know, he's meaning it to be slow at the beginning. Not all stories need to immediately jump off the page, but
I kind of wish, because he got towards the end. You mentioned it was slow, and he was as he started talking about the war, the tension brewing underneath, kind of wish I could just feel that more.
Yeah.
I want to like sit in that. I want like that discomfort.
Yeah, and then it gets more further on, but this is meant to be kind of an introduction to the whole story, so it just kind of had to cut that short, unfortunately, because that's kind of the point, the driving force of the story. So, but any which way,
Okay.
do we want to do Joel or me next, or something else?
I have no preference. You're just keeping me awake. Oh,
Okay. If Brendan doesn't have anything, I'll go ahead and do Joel.
Now sharing Joel Stanley.
All right. So, he specifically wrote a note here as well. Let me put it in the chat because he made it shareable to everyone and asked that I do that. So, let me.
I am unable to read it.
That's fine. Just anyone who wants to can. So, let me put this here.
You should pull over right now so you can read it.
I am 30 minutes from home. If I stop, I'm not going to have enough time to do my devotionals.
I hear that. All right. So this is his note. He said, "Hello, everyone. I wish I could have been here. Last scene ended with Zoe and Starlet heading to the hangar to meet Kit, Kira, as they bring Fox back. The little detail with a big impact was that Zoe took her glasses off and put them in her pocket. Those were given to her so she could hear Starlet's telepathic communications. What I would really like is your opinion on the plot twist / reveal in this chapter, how the characters handle it, and did you see it coming? Just in case people need reminding of the cast, Jennifer is a human ER nurse that volunteered for the day without knowing what was going on. She met a Quarkin and has the briefest explanation of what's going on. Zoe is the one that was pulled out of the hospital and has declared herself Starlet's new friend. Kira is that captain, and Fox. Kira is captain. That captain and Fox's handler. Starlet is Fox's daughter and second handler. Kit is a human and Fox's friend and another champion that has been on Earth setting things up. Zakaz is a Korkin and the ship's doctor. So we'll go ahead and read 39, The Hidden Implant. The planet runner flew back and hovered into the hangar. Zakaz, Zoe, and Starlet were all waiting with a group of Loom Corps men. Starlet was twisting her tail so much that the fur was coming off. Zoe took her hand and squeezed it. Zakaz was already looking over the stats on his small holographic pad. The ship seemed to take forever to turn around in the small space and set... Let me zoom in a little so I can read better. Hold on. Small space and set do. It should be down, I'm guessing. Before the doors could close, Jennifer ran in, looked around, and spotted the group. She was out of breath. As she set down a large box full of fluids and several other things she had thought might be useful. I was told to bring these to you, Dr. Kaz, she wheezed. I hope I didn't take too long. No, you haven't. You have beaten the patient, he answered. Are you able to stay? I may need your assistance. I was unable to bring any nurses. Of course, doctor. She let out a long breath, taking control of her breathing. But I don't know your anatomy. The patient is human, Zakaz replied. A very special human. It's Fox, the man who was with me It's Fox, the man who was with me when we brought Hope in, Zoe told Jennifer. Oh no, Jennifer gasped. Can I help? Zoe asked, hoping for an excuse to stay with Fox. What can you do? The Quarkin asked, his voice as curious as ever. I am a medical student. I know how to start an IV drip and dress wounds, she started, but then dropped off, thinking of how ridiculous she must sound, having no idea how their advanced medicine worked. I know you are worried, Zoe. I will let you stay close by, and we will see if you can be of use, he said, patting her leg. I believe we got him in time. He probably will be out for the rest of this battle. That is going to upset him. Oh, I thought his injuries were really bad, Jennifer said, suddenly confused by how upset everyone was. He is quite bad. If we treated him in your Earth hospitals, he would take months to heal. We can treat him much faster. He is also very stubborn. He showed Jennifer the hollow screen and explained the damage and plan for treatments. I thought you said he always came out without a scratch, Zoe commented. I fear that I have unlucked him with my earlier remarks. No, he gets himself hurt a lot. Now that I think about it, I am a new member of his crew, and most of my knowledge of him is from legends. As soon as the gate had lowered, Tony, with 2 Loom Corps troops, brought the news crew out. The waiting guards surrounded them, escorting them away. Tony caught Zoe's eye and gave her a grim look as they passed. Booster pushed the hovering stretcher out. When she got a look at Fox's burned body, Starlet turned away and pushed her face into Zoe's shoulder. Zakaz jumped onto the stretcher and had Jennifer follow as they rushed into the larger ship. Zoe was torn between wanting to see Fox and trying to stay out of Zakaz's way. A tall man stopped and gave Starlet a hug as he passed. She turned from Zoe, going into his arms. Remembering Kit from TV, Zoe was shocked that he was who Tally and Rip had been compared to Fox. It had to be true. His armor matched Fox's and his movements were confident, completely at home with the aliens. A strength seemed to radiate from him, comforting both her and Starlet. He looked at Zoe holding her hand and smiled at Starlet. I am glad to see you made a friend, he said, wiping Starlet's tears. He's safe. You did great. He's going to be okay. Turning to Zoe, he put his hand on her shoulder and repeated, He's going to be okay. You must be Zoe. I'm Kit. I'm sorry we had to meet like this. Zoe saw Starlet feel safe in his arms and that he was one of the very few people she trusted completely. Somehow, Zoe knew she could trust him too. I know you want to see him, he said to Starlet, but I think your other charge needs you more right now. With another squeeze of their shoulders, he was gone, hurrying after Fox. Zoe turned to follow, but stopped when she felt that Starlet, still holding her hand, wasn't moving. She was staring into the planet runner. Kira hadn't come out. Zoe felt the conflict in Starlet. Follow her father or go to her captain. Kira was superior. Would she think this inappropriate? Let's see. There are already people helping Fox, Zoe suggested as Starlet hesitated. She is under your care, right? As a handler? And you are both Fox's handlers. That could make you equal in this situation. You will stay with me? Starlet asked, looking into Zoe's eyes. Of course, if you want me to. Zoe could tell Starlet was deciding the best way to start the conversation. What if you just sit with her and put your hand on her? She can talk if she wants. I know she doesn't like hugs. She may. I do not know that she has ever had one, Starlet said, making up her mind. Together they went up the ramp and found Kira sitting in a seat, her face in her hands, no longer crying. The exhausted Stripe just sat, breathing heavily. It was clear she had pushed herself to her limits, both physically and emotionally. Taking the seat next to her, Starlet held her breath as she put her arm around her captain. Kira leaned in, resting her head on Starlet's shoulder. Starlet breathed a sigh of relief. You did it, Oralta. You saved him, Starlet broadcast, including Zoe in the channel. I thought we had lost him. I thought he was gone, Kira said, tears coming again. Oh, Kira, you were wonderful, Zoe said, sitting next to her and wrapping her arms around the tall purple alien from the other side. You were so brave. You kept him safe and brought him back. Zakaz is going to fix him up. Kit and Kaz both said you got him in time. I have never felt more afraid, Kira admitted. I was scared too, Starlet broadcast, drawing strength from Zoe's support. Let me help you. When the two connected, Kira gave a shiver and relaxed. Remembering the hug with Starlet, Zoe wanted to see if she could connect with Kira as well. I am here with you. Let me share your pain, Zoe thought, pushing the best comfort feeling she could. She was delighted when it worked, even though that meant an intense wave of pain and fear from Kira. It felt like having her heart ripped out. She was there with Kira, reliving the crash, seeing Fox's unconscious body lying burnt and bleeding. Then she was with Kira, watching the ship with her family crash. I know this pain, Zoe thought. I lost my parents too, but you didn't lose Fox. He's safe now because of you. This seemed to help. Leaning into the comfort, Kira raised her stress and fear, drawing strength from the embrace. Suddenly her eyes shot open and she jumped up. What? How? Kira said, jerking back. Holding Zoe at arm's length, she stared at her, gaping. Zoe, how did you... Starlet, what have you done? Fox put the nanites in me when he gave me the blood transfusion, Zoe started to explain. No, those are just medical bugs. They do not do this, Kira said, shaking her head and glaring at Starlet. I had to, Starlet broadcast, so both of them could hear. I had to know if she will need it anyway to be compatible with Fox. If he cannot stay without anyone, we had to know if she was safe for him. Waves of guilt and fear radiated from Starlet. Did you even ask her? Starlet, this is not okay. These are the rules. There are rules. Kira snapped, pulling Zoe close to her side. She held her with both left arms as if trying to protect Zoe from some attack Starlet might launch. What did she do to me? What did she do to me? Zoe asked, getting worried from the concern in Kira. She had the nanites install an implant in your brain. It connects you to other implants. It is how we can communicate without speaking and share thoughts. It is how you shared our feelings, Kira said, rubbing Zoe's shoulders, trying to comfort her. In my brain? Zoe shrieked. Like the ones making the corrupted? What is it going to do to me? No, Zoe, we all have them, Kira said gently as she took out a device and scanned the redhead. She examined the implant. This does nothing to your movements. There is no danger. We can remove it safely. Kira shared with Zoe the knowledge of implants through their link, telling her how they worked and what she could do with them. It took less than 3 seconds, simultaneously sending reassuring feelings that the human was in no danger. Okay, this is kind of cool, but why would you do this to me, Starlet? Zoe said in a hurt tone. You and Fox are in love. You will need it if he is to stay with you, Starlet broadcast. He will need someone to watch him when we leave. In love? Isn't it a little early for that? Or it's a little early for that, isn't it? Zoe asked. I trusted you. I thought we were friends, Starlet. Starlet, they just met, Kira said. They have barely talked. I felt his emotions too, but that was joy she was alive. Human emotions change so fast. You of all of us should know that. He likes her, yes, but they are not ready for this decision. They may not even stay together after this week. Fox has never had a mate because of me, Starlet broadcast. The song-like quality in her voice was replaced with desperation. He has never come back to Earth because he was afraid of leaving me. This may be his only chance. I only wanted to help. Starlet started to broadcast her words faster and faster. She wished it should be swished, I think, her tail in her hands and stared at the floor. She is better than anyone could wish for. She is an empath. You felt how she wants to help us just now. I watched her in my dream. I saw her memories. She accepted the implant at once. If she did not have this and stays with Fox, he would be unconnected. She would never be able to understand him fully. He will be at the mercy of his nightmares. You saw what happened to Kit. Fox will destroy himself. I'm sorry, Zoe. I would never do something that would hurt you. I told you I did not know how to be a friend. Starlet concluded, her words accompanied by even stronger feelings of shame and guilt. Friends don't put things inside of other friends' brains, Zoe said, tapping her head for emphasis. Kira looked like she was about to chew Starlet out, but hesitated. Still connected, Zoe saw Kira was running through scenarios. Starlet was right. If Fox stayed on Earth, someone needed implants to stay with him. You want them to be in love, Kira spoke her realization aloud. He wants to get to know her, but you cannot make them rush to this. What else have you done? Are you reprogramming her mind? Are you giving her pleasure boosts when she thinks of him? No, I would never do that. Even if she does not love him, she can still be his friend and help him. Someone on this world needs to have an implant for him to connect to. You're making decisions for them, Kira continued. It will be Zoe's decision, not ours, not yours. Zoe looked up at Kira. Her brows wrinkled. The choice will be mine because he... this is Zoe speaking. The choice will be mine because he already made his when he gave me the transfusion. Zoe thought to herself, now being able to see what Starlet and Kira knew. Intentionally or not, he had put her in a position to learn enough so she could make an informed decision. She could see what he truly was and how damaged he must be, before giving her the choice to get to know him deeper. Kira understood what Zoe was feeling before she could put it into words. She continued to hold Zoe close, willing Zoe to trust her and not panic. She spoke in a kind tone. You do not have to commit yet. We did not mean for this to happen. You should not feel rushed or pushed in this. Please do not fear. I will make sure this is removed if that is your wish. But she is right in one thing. If you stay with him, it would be best if you had one. Kira turned to Starlet and continued. But that does not make this right. I do not know what to do about you. You will tell him what you have done, not me. Whatever he does to you, you deserve. I will not be the one to tell him. Tell him what? Kid asked, coming into the craft. Kira pointed at Starlet and gestured with the other hand for Starlet to answer. Tell Fox that I installed an implant into Zoe without asking, Starlet broadcast, grabbing her tail behind her back. Kit's eyes went wide. What? Why would you do that? In response, Kira shared the conversation via Kit's own implant, and he was brought up to speed in seconds. Where did you even get one? I made it from a scan of mine, Starlet admitted. Her shoulders slumped as she tried to make herself as small as possible. Wait, yours is a prototype, yours is a prototype, Kira said. We do not even know who made it. I believe it was made by my father. Starlet broadcast so low that they could barely make it out. I have been studying it for the last few years. It makes deeper connections than the standard ones. I believe it was made so I could understand how to manipulate my nanites better. I think it is why I can bond so strongly and why I am such a fast handler. It is probably why I am so good at dreams. A copy of an unknown prototype already installed, Kit said with a huge sigh. Well, is it even working? Oh, it's working, Kira said. She pulled up the history of the implants. She even seems to be good at it. Look at this. She has been influencing Starlet, and she did not even know it. I think she is even getting a rush of feeling from feeling others' emotions. I have? Zoe asked, confused. Oh yeah, Kit said, looking over the chart. It looks like you've been affecting Starlet's emotions since she woke up. You really started impacting her hard in the war room. Quarkin relics. What will Zif Khan say? Kira gasped. Quarkin relics. What will Zif Khan say? Kira gasped, clutching at her throat as her ears went pale. Starlet, he may throw you off the fleet. Starlet swallowed nervously. You and I will talk about this later, Kit said to Kira. He has to bring charges against you too. He can't pretend you didn't just break a bunch of first contact rules and disobey orders. Turning his attention to Zoe, he sent a connection request which she accepted. He didn't try to change her emotions, but she felt calmness from him that eased her worries. His strength was almost palpable as it reassured her that everything was going to be all right. Miss Zoe, I know this sounds very scary. Aliens just put something in your brain. Kira and I are freaking out, and that scares you. But the procedure is pretty standard for them. I have one too, and so does Fox. It isn't any more risky than having your tonsils removed. We're upset because she did it behind our backs and without your permission. I know Fox will be upset when he finds out too. This isn't how he wanted things to go. I promise we're going to make sure you're safe. No one's going to force you to do anything or brainwash you. I believe her about why she did it. She can't lie. She saw it as a way to as a way she could help you and Fox, but that doesn't make it right. The Astari can't lie? Zoe asked, surprised. They can. She's just really bad at it, Kit chuckled. Starlet's ears went vermilion. Then he turned to Starlet. Is that all that you put in her? Starlet bit her lip and avoided eye contact. Scanning Zoe with some device, he frowned before pulling out an inches-long cylinder and handed it to Zoe. She looked at it blankly. Zoe, can you tell me how many units of fuel this craft still has? Kit asked, patting the planet runner's wall. Zoe's brow furrowed. How would I know that? Could you look it up for me? Zoe pulled out the holographic screen from the device and navigated through the alien menus. It has 56 par left, Zoe said. Why? What does that have to do with... Her eyes went wide as she stared at the alien device. She shouldn't have even known what it was. She remembered reading the can of spray. Starlet! Kira growled. You gave her detailed instructions on the tech, Kit said, shaking his head. Anything else? No. Well, yes. I did not know how much time there would be to teach her how to take care of her nanites. I copied most of my files to her. No memories, just knowledge. Wow, Zoe gasped, handing the projector back. From the outside of the craft, Jennifer called, her voice betraying her nervousness. Hello? In here, Kit called. Jennifer leaned into the open hatch, trying not to touch anything. Excuse me, is one of you Starlet? She is. Why? Kit asked. They told me to get her. Fox can't wake up right now. He is having some kind of fit. They said it was a nightmare and to get her. Go on, Starlet. There will be time to sort this out later. Go on, Starlet. There will be time to sort this out later. Kira rubbed her eyes as the words came out in a defeated sigh. He needs you now. No, you should do it, Kira, Starlet broadcast. I have not done it in so long, Kira started. He likes your dreams better. You have forgotten how much he needs your strength. I think you need this too. She might be right, Kira, Kit said. We will do this together, Kira said to Starlet. As they left the ship, Kit messaged Zoe. You shouldn't try to connect with Fox until he's a little better and we've told him. That's the end of that. Thoughts?
A lot of characters that I'm not familiar with.
I'm aware.
Yeah. But it's all good. I'm kind of the tech and the abilities, they all sort of mix together. I think that's the point a little bit. But it's just kind of on a world building front with those powers. Just like, what could that empath do that these machines aren't capable of? It's something I can.
Well, the whole thing is basically those nanites got corrupted by the evil aliens and we're creating zombies all over the world, and so that's what they're fighting. But there's also good nanites that are programmed properly.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
Okay, that is a trip.
Y'all go ahead for a few minutes. I need to use the restroom and be right back, if that's fine. So, be right back.
dang it, Joshua. You're the only one who actually
I can
knows
stay
what's
for a
going
second
on.
if you need me to. What's up?
No, it's just because I'm about to go on a thing for about the reaction. And,
Okay.
But you have to go. Be right
I'll be right back.
I'll formulate my thoughts.
I'll be right back.
And we'll
I've made it home. I've made it home at last.
This is a long one. This is gonna be a long broadcast.
It is. From what I can
I'm
tell.
gonna have to go to bed. No, well, not go to bed, but
I have to get my stuff. He left. He's the only one who knew what was going on. Joel, you're still recording. Joel, whenever you hear this, we love you. It's cool. We're all just busy and tired. Nice. I like it. I'm just kind of the empath stuff. I'm starting to like question all like the how does this work? Is it just jargon?
it's basically okay. I'm gonna try to explain it. The short version is Fox has. I'm not sure if it's because of his implants, the serum, or the super soldier serum, or whatever they did to make Fox, or if it's just PTSD from fighting aliens. And basically, because they say that like they can heal him faster, so presumably it's a almost Mickey 17 scenario where he can get into a fight, get badly injured, but then get like healed back up to 100% hit points, which is way better than what you have in real world war, where you can get injured and not be able to recover, right? Because they have super high tech, they can put limbs back, they can make things like new, all that jazz. And that would have a psychological impact on a person. I don't remember if Fox's nightmares are because of that, or if it's because of some side effect of making him the way he is. I don't know if he ever actually said that. So the empath thing is that the nanites and the implants allow for telepathic communication because they implant it onto the brain, and the brain and the mind are connected in this scenario. And basically, you can basically share the pain load of a PTSD spell, and you can basically project positive dreams. If somebody's having a nightmare, you can go in and break the nightmare yourself by being this empath, right? And it also lets you feel emotions. You're more connected on an emotional level. We're not going to get into the metaphysics of this because I don't believe that emotions are purely brain activity, even though they are connected to that, obviously. But for the purposes of the story, that's how that works. And so we will suspend our disbelief on that front.
I feel like it's I almost want, if he's dealing with that empath superpower, I want like a tactile sensation description to kind of ground me in what's going on. Because there was one instance where he was saying something just hope and fear and telling me exactly this is the named emotion that this person is feeling. However, it's like I can't like I don't know. I would feel like I would be more grounded in the scene if there was like
You want what is the memory they're drawing on, rather than just she pushed hope onto him or whatever.
Yeah.
You want she recalled this memory of this thing.
There are places he does that, but this is a little bit more of a this is a scene that's moving very quickly with a lot of emotions being triggered in directions that shouldn't necessarily be triggered, because we're realizing that Zoe has this in her brain, and has had it in her brain for a while.
This might be one of those stories that would be best served with colored text.
I agree.
Yeah.
So
like you could like hint more at the intrusion element. It's like I feel this, but it's not mine. It's there's something there, but I'm not.
Here's the problem I have with the scene. Everything logically flows, but I think that it doesn't. I don't like the reaction because I feel like it's too extreme in a different direction. Right?
Okay.
When the twist happens, is revealed that Zoe has this implant in her brain. There's this sort of like, she has this reaction to Starlet, like, am I going to turn into a zombie? Even though we've been building up the relationship between these two to they are good friends.
Right.
Right? I feel like, I mean, maybe it's not that case, right? Maybe you would, if you had something like that revealed, it would like suddenly like flip. But I feel like that flip is a little too hard. I also think that Kira acting like she's protecting Zoe from Starlet with her body language, when the real reason they're mad at Starlet is because is not because the thing itself is dangerous, but because she did it out of order, both in a social framework and in a hierarchical military framework.
Right.
I feel like that's too much of a reaction.
Yeah.
So in other words, I feel like they're overreacting, basically.
Well, the other thing... Yeah, go ahead. If you finish, yeah.
Because, yes, we're dealing with a violation of will, which is problematic. But at the same time, what happens if Fox doesn't stay on Earth?
Right.
Zoe has an implant in her brain that lets her only connect to other implants and doesn't, like it would not affect her day-to-day life. Right. Realistically speaking.
Or if it would, and we don't know about it. Right. You haven't told us about it.
Or it could. Well, they haven't mentioned that.
That's what I'm saying.
Does,
if there is a thing, we haven't been told about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they might not have told her, or mentioned it in front of her to have her not worry. That is an option. But, but the thing is that we're dealing with a, again, it's like, what's the worst that happens? Well, if they're nanoscopic, no one would be able, if they're like nanites, if the implant is nanites, we're not going to be able to, our tech would not be able to discover it. So after the zombie apocalypse is taken care of, we won't be able to see that. And then she lives her life normally because, as far as I can tell, according to the rules as written,
right.
She can only connect to Fox. And if Fox doesn't stay, that means it's functionally they're microscopic little robots in her brain that are doing nothing.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So again, I feel like I understand everything flows logically. All of the reactions, all of that makes sense. I just like they make sense on a intellectual, like thinking through level and sort of like what is the most dramatically appropriate. But it's almost turning into we're making a mountain out of a molehill to me.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm like not realizing the weight of what's going on, but I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me. Also because I really like Starlet and I don't like it when people yell at her.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I don't have anything else.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say the other thing is is one of you heading out?
Yes, it's I gotta go.
All right, man. Good. Thank you for being here.
It's been interesting.
Enjoy your inferno.
Bye.
Yep, I will light it on fire. Good night.
All right, burn, baby, burn.
World is on fire.
Anyway, what I was gonna say was I think that every culture, both militarily and socially, has slight variations on how consent is given and consent in general, especially in situations of war, which we are in. And I think that the universal assumption that everyone has the same definition of how consent should be given in this moment when we're dealing with multiple alien races and humans feels a bit far-fetched. I think that it would be likely that Kira is explaining why this is such a big faux pas without assuming that Zoe immediately knows that it's a big faux pas entirely. Like, I think obviously you're going to realize that consent wasn't given, therefore that's a bad thing to some extent. But I think that Kira would probably be, trying to like explain to Zoe, like, you're a victim here. This is a bad situation. Like, and she did that a little bit, but I think that it wouldn't be quite so universal across the board, if that makes sense.
Well, if you believe that a creator made the world and that there's I don't want to get theological here.
Yeah, I'm not trying to either.
Theological troll. I don't want to get into that, but like I don't have as much an issue with a universality if we are under the assumption that a creator made the world. And that he is consistent across all worlds. Right. I don't have as big an issue with that.
Mm-hmm. But I'm saying, like, there's been so many, this entire book has been full of like, oh, socially awkward because we do things differently. I feel like Kira would assume that Zoe isn't realizing the severity of the situation because they have a different custom. And no, they don't have a different custom. Okay, they're universal. Cool. Like, but that seems out of place to me. Like, I feel like Kira's protection would be like immediately like, hold on, honey, there's something really bad that happened here. Like, I'm not trying to talk down to you, but we need to figure this out. And here's the deal, right? And I didn't get that so much as, yeah, she just threw this thing in your brain, and shouldn't you be mad about that? Like, it seemed like Kira was assuming that Zoe should be more angry than she was.
It sounds like it breaks the flow of it breaks the narrative flow a little bit because you already have a presupposition that they're dealing with all these different cultures.
Right.
And then they all have a melting pot assumption of, okay, if there's something I don't know, I might want to ask this person that I built this trust with. But then all of a sudden we're thrown into a situation where the trust is...
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, more or less. So, yeah. Any other thoughts for him on this one? He was specifically asking if we saw the twist coming with from earlier when Starlet was giving Zoe dreams and she like did something. Did you notice?
I didn't see anything, but I'm also blind as a bat.
I'm kind of the same way.
I like the motivation that Starlet has. I think that's heartbreaking in a really cool way. I think that part of what you're doing is great. I think that part of it is great.
Is amazing.
Yeah.
That is one of the best ways of pulling that off, I think. That is... It makes me like...
So wait, Scarlet, is she the one...
Let me explain. Kira and Starlet are both Fox's handlers. Normally, one of these warrior characters like Fox only has one handler, but through a crazy course of events, he ends up having his main handler, Kira, and Starlet, who is basically like a half-breed who's looked down on by everyone, and she's the one that Brendan really likes. I do too. And she's extra empathic and has all kinds of other stuff about her. So she's the one, Starlet, who implanted the thing in Zoe, the human's head, hoping that Fox would stay more or less with her and have a mate and have a good life because she loves him. Starlet loves him for helping take care of her and giving her a place to exist and thrive as his handler.
Gotcha.
So, yep.
I am exhausted. I have a devotion thing that I'd like to do.
Well, do you have time for mine? I was about to read my 3 poems and then we get this thing finished up. It's just the last one. Otherwise, Brendan can give his thoughts, if any, and I'll read it. Or we can even end it here. I'm good either way. I can go a week without.
I want to.
Or a month without.
You didn't have to say the last bit.
It's all good. I got a baby coming in a couple days.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, priorities. I can't stick. I want to, but I can't.
Brendan, you want some extra sleep?
I would love extra sleep, but but if you really need,
No, I don't really need it. We can end it here.
Dude, I'm like,
everyone's tired, including me. I've got work to do.
All right. Then
I have
probably, for the sake of our sanity, we should probably break.
I agree. Alrighty, well, everybody be your family's bard. Do not turn to the right or to the left, and the Lord will be with you wherever you go. We'll see you next time in the trenches on Poets at War. By the time this airs, Jane will be here, so yay.
You too can be a part of Poets at War and the Brood. Just visit joshuadavidling.com/discord to join. We want you, soldier, to be part of the Poets at War family. For more information, visit joshuadavidling.com.